Good morning and good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. Did you have a good weekend? Well, you better have, because you weren't supposed to be looking at any of the news stories, because we've got them for you here on Mucking Fonday. This is the first and only international game show, Before Coffee, a father and daughter news podcast where we look up our stories right before the show starts. We just got caffeine in our bodies, and we're learning to read and speak live on stream. Let's get into those mucking headlines and spin that segue wheel. Today on Mucking Fonday, Zelenskyy, Starmer, Macron, and Merz set out 5 principles for peace with Russia. And Armenia's Prime Minister's ruling party wins at the polls for their election.
Over the weekend, the astronauts on the space station had a leak, and I don't think they've fixed it yet. Plus, billionaire Mark Cuban asked why insurance companies pay $2,500 for an MRI that costs $350.
That is interesting. Businesses fear for economy if Swiss vote to cap population at 10 million passes. I don't know how they're going to enforce that, but they're doing it. And social media ban latest. Starmer demands tech companies clamp down to protect children.
Yes, another European weirdness. But protests in Albania grow over Jared Kushner's backed luxury resort.
In my culture news, he was the best of us. Heartfelt tributes paid to Buffy star Anthony Heed, dead at 72.
All right, and it's National Best Friends Day. If you have a best friend, well, you already know it's your best friend's day, so I guess it's Monday. It is, what is it today? It is June 8th, 2026, Before Coffee. Here we go. Hey. Have a good one. Up before the sun.
Have a good one.
You're up before the sun. You go to bed before the sun goes down. Yep. Like a farmer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like an Amish. Like with electric light.
Maybe not. Oh,
There's
maybe.
all kinds of Amish. There's all kinds of Amish on the train.
Mm-hmm. Are there? That's interesting. They
There
still
was
use trains.
really out here.
Or maybe they're Meta-Knights, which are different things.
Yeah, they don't use airplanes. I've seen them in cars. I've seen their grocery stores and stuff. I guess I don't take enough trains to know, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like usually a daily thing.
Hey, the Amish were going, hey, there's a steward. You don't see them on a train. All right. Let's have a spin.
Alliteration headline.
Ooh. All right.
Let's get into my first stories. Oh, the music is not on. Music. There we go. My first story is coming out of the, I guess, Western powers. We're all talking about what they require. The 5 principles for peace with Russia. As in, if they don't get these, they're not settling for peace, I guess. This is from the Kyiv Post by, I guess, the Kyiv Post. President Volodymyr Zelenskyy and the leaders of the UK, France, and Germany agreed on 5 principles for sustainable peace in Ukraine during a high-level summit in London, reaffirming Europe must play a central role in future settlement. Zelenskyy met British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, French President Emmanuel Macron, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz in the so-called E3 plus Ukraine format on Sunday, the 7th of June, in a show of European unity as diplomatic efforts to end Russia's war intensifies. I mean, they are kind of the original big 3 heads of Europe. If anybody knows their history of the EU, the only reason it exists is so that France and Germany could get together and not cause another war. And, the UK was always fighting France, so they're also kind of guilty of that. In a joint statement issued after a meeting, the leaders reiterated their unwavering support for Ukraine and outlined conditions they said were necessary to secure just and lasting peace. I know one of the conditions make sure Putin no longer can rule the country, because I feel like that's the only way. Well, that's not true. There might be somebody worse than Putin in there who wants to do even worse, but I think that's the number one thing, is get him out of power. But first, leaders called on Russian president, more like Russian dictator, Putin, to agree on an immediate and comprehensive ceasefire. Second, they said the current front line should serve as the basis for negotiations, stressing that international borders cannot be changed by force, and Ukraine's sovereign right to choose its security arrangements and alliances must be respected. Third, they said Ukraine must receive robust and legally binding security guarantees once a ceasefire takes effect. Those guarantees would build on the commitments agreed in Berlin in December of 25 and Paris in January of 26, and include the deployment of a multinational force in Ukraine. Fourth, Russian assets frozen by Western countries would remain immobilized until Moscow ends its aggression and compensates Ukraine for war damages. Fifth, the leaders said European security interests must be protected in any agreement, adding the decision affecting the EU and NATO would require the consent of member states and allies. The four leaders also backed Zelensky's proposal for direct talks with Russia, with active US and European participation aimed at achieving a ceasefire and advancing negotiations. Basically, you've lost the war, dude. Time to give up and give us our concessions for invading us for some bullshit reason, which has only caused suffering. Ahead of upcoming G7 summit in Evian, the next coalition of willing meeting, and the NATO summit in Ankara, the leaders pledged to coordinate additional military aid and increase pressure on Russia's war economy. They emphasized the need to ramp up interceptor production, jointly develop anti-ballistic missiles and long-range strike capabilities, and strengthen the long-term sustainability of Ukraine's armed forces. The main thing is that our defense in this war cooperation for the security of all Europe in the direction of air defense, and our common view on diplomatic perspectives. Europe must be in negotiations and must be strong, Zelenskyy said upon arriving in London.
Stay at that phone.
Sorry? Zelenskyy's visit is set to continue with further meetings on today, the 8th of June, including audience with King Charles. Maybe he'll do something. The gathering of European leaders comes at a highly volatile moment. Just days prior, Zelenskyy issued an open letter to dictator Putin, challenging the Kremlin to engage in direct face-to-face peace talks to test Moscow's genuine willingness to end the conflict. They're going to fail that test because they don't want to. They will not concede to losing. While Putin promptly rejected the framework because he's not going to lose this war, he's determined to not lose it. I don't know what he's going to do, but he's determined to not be a fool on the global stage. London summit serves as a proactive measure to ensure Western allies remain lockstep. The French Elysee Palace released a companion statement affirming that the talks are explicitly intended to coordinate the next phases of wartime assistance to Ukraine while tightening the economic and strategic screws on Russia's war machine. French officials reiterated that Russia continues to face a profound military, economic, and strategic failure despite the ongoing offensive operations on the front lines. I think this is also just to remind people that Europe, while the US is doing whatever the fuck it's doing, Europe has not forgotten about Ukraine. They are still backing Ukraine. So if Putin thinks he's gonna win the war from, I guess, just people forgetting about Ukraine, it's not gonna happen on their watch anyways. And remember, France is the only country with nukes in Europe that they make themselves. So it's very important to have both both France and Germany backing you in Europe. Sorry, what did you want to say?
Yes. I forgot.
Okay.
It goes fast. So.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm ready for alliteration.
Maybe I'll remember it later. It was about something you were talking about 2 minutes ago. Alliteration should read, punishing Putin is priority. Short and sweet. Don't forget, that's going to say the U.S. Congress did vote recently to punish Putin. 18 Republicans switched sides and said, we're not running for re-election. We don't care anymore.
Yeah. You win, I guess.
You can primary me because I'm not on the ballot. I don't care. That's what I thought of in the middle of that.
All right, my next story is coming out of Armenia. They just had an election, which I didn't even know was happening. I don't think we even talked about it, but there's so many elections, I think, during the summer, and it is that time of year. So, this Armenia election comes after years of upheaval since Nikol Pashinyan was propelled to power in 2018 street revolution. This is on Eurocitiv. Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan's ruling party has won parliamentary elections. Preliminary results show today on the 8th of June. Cementing the nation's westward tilt after threats from Moscow and claims of Russian interference. Pashinyan had sought to loosen the ex-Soviet Republic dependence on Moscow while forging closer ties with the West. His ruling Civil Contract Party got 49.8% of the vote, comfortably ahead of the 23.3% of the Russian Armenia billionaire Samvel Karapetyan's Strong Armenia Alliance. Yeah, fuck those billionaires trying to lead countries. After all electoral precincts declared results, the Central Election Commission said two other opposition forces, President Robert Kocharyan's Armenia Alliance and the Prosperous Armenia Party, also cleared the electoral threshold to get into parliament, winning 9.9% and 4% of the vote, respectively. Isn't it kind of like mean nothing when everyone's party is called For Armenia? Then it's just like, what do you... That means, of course, everyone's for Armenia. We're all going in the government. We're all called Armenia. Turnout was 59%, the commission said. Pashinyan hailed his party's historic victory that will ensure Armenia's integrity and development. He pledged to continue the course of rapprochement with the West, while also developing Armenia's relationships with Russia. His opponent, Karapetyan, called the elections shameful and denounced violations and repression, saying dozens of his campaign staff had been arrested. This is the rich guy, right? Yeah, okay. The rich guy is calling foul. Well, you should have bribed more people. I don't know. If only that's how it worked, right? You just pay everyone to vote for you.
Right.
Sorry, where was I? Oh, here we go. Armenia's investigative committee said it opened 59 criminal cases over alleged electoral violations, including multiple voting, and detained 9 people. And before you find out, it was the billionaire who's getting all those votes, too. Pashinyan has frozen participation in a Russian-led security bloc while deepening ties with the European Union and the United States, and set Armenia on a path towards possible EU membership. Moscow has bristled at the possible loss of yet another ally in its backyard. It pointed in a remark, Russian President, or dictator as I like to call him, Putin, said in May, "We will see what is happening in Ukraine now. How did it all begin with Ukraine's attempt to join the EU? And you couldn't accept that, so you attacked them." So yeah, I guess it is that. It's their fault for wanting to join the EU. How dare they? They need to be part of the future Russian Federation.
That's right. Don't you want
better
Uncle
diplomats?
Don't you want to be part Uncle Vlad's little clique of weirdos?
Isn't this just like, I know this is not economics, but this is similar to economics, right? Where, people offer certain things, competition, and then everyone's going, wow, the EU gives us a lot of great guarantees that I'm really attracted to. What is Russia offering these countries to stay in their sphere? We won't kill everybody who's not a Russian in your country. Wow, thanks, Russia. That's so nice of you to let us live. That's what you're offering these people. I mean, like small little tangent, right? All the people who are even supported by Russia, quote unquote supported, right? Like Moldova, as soon as they go through some tough shit, where's Russia? Nowhere to be found. As soon as Hungary is going through some stuff, where's Russia? Nowhere to be found. Why would anybody want to be an ally with a country that is only out for themselves? And once another country needs their help, they say, oh, you have to figure that out for yourself. I don't care if your entire population is freezing this winter. I started a war with Ukraine for no fucking reason. Anyways. Little rant over. The Kremlin has been accused of seeking to sway the vote. Of course they want to. Analysts have noted misinformation on the web, hacker activity, and Kremlin-friendly narratives portraying Western corporations as dangerous. In weeks before the vote, Russia banned the import of several products from Armenia. Trade pressure, seen as a move to keep economic pressure on the country. And Armenia officials have warned enemies of freedom are funding propaganda efforts. For many Armenians, the opposition remains associated with Russian influence and oligarchs. I mean, a billionaire was the opposition. Come on.
They
not that crazy.
They bordered the former Soviet Union, Armenia. I was looking at Azerbaijan and Georgia, but Turkey and Iran are other borders. Yeah.
That's my story. Give me our alliteration.
Oh, alliteration line should read: Armenia announces authority ascension against autocracy.
All right. Thank you.
Discounted for spelling in this one. Yeah. Let's have a spin. I have two stories. One about the space.
I'm going to give you two non sequiturs.
All right. Put my glasses off so you can see me so I don't glare.
Yeah, your glasses are so big, it just covers your whole face.
Maybe you still can't see me, but that's that's good for you, I guess. BBC.com has a story about the space station over the weekend. Astronauts told to return to International Space Station. Of course, Russians are international cooperation with Russia on that.
Yeah,
at least
that seems to work just fine. It's because they're all scientists.
Right, because they depend on each other for their own life. And, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. I mean, scientists don't care about politics. Astronauts told to return to the International Space Station after leaks. This is from Alab Ghosh of BBC. There's a big old picture. The 7 crew members currently aboard the International Space Station represent 5 countries and a remarkable range of background. Well, we're going to list their names in case some of you men up dead. Because no, they have a place they can hide. They have a spaceship they can crawl into. Their names are Jessica Meir from Caribou, Maine, Jack Hathaway from Windsor, Connecticut, Sophie Adenot from France.
Windsor, Connecticut.
Yeah, South Windsor, Connecticut. Sophie Adenot is from France. She says French Colonel. Chris Williams, Harvard, so you're an American. Sergei Kudzov Sverkov is, I believe, a Russian. Oh, yes, he's a Russian. Sergei Makev, also Russian, born in Irkutsk, Siberia. The other cosmonaut was born in Baikonur. I can't pronounce it. And the final Russian cosmonaut was Andrei Fedyayev, born in Sarab in the Ural Mountains. So that's her names. So let's do the story. And my story just went away. So, oops. All right. All right, let's do a story on the story and the story. Let's do for space.com, because that one just... Astronaut Station, out of abundance of caution, NASA has directed all 4 of the agency's SpaceX Crew 12 members and NASA astronaut Chris Williams to assume the elevated safety posture of the Dragon spacecraft while repair is underway. That's what it's called. It's a Dragon spacecraft, just in case you were wondering what to call it. Let me get the reading page on this one. Okay. This caution, the persistent leak, Stevens explained, is in the PRK transfer tunnel, which leads to Russia's Zedzada service module, one of the oldest parts of the station. This leak, apparently caused by small cracks in the tunnel, has been an issue for years. And Russia's Space Agency Cosmos manages it through operational mitigation measures and periodic partial repair efforts. Wow. Stevens wrote. These efforts were working until a few months ago when the leak sprung up again. That development spurred today's action, which Stevens termed a more extensive repair operation. The 4 astronauts of SpaceX Crew 12 missions are NASA listed them again. They took a shelter the other day, and Crew 12's Dragon capsule Freedom, along with NASA's Williams, arrived at the space station in late November aboard a Russian Soyuz spacecraft. Williams flew with 2 crewmates on that Soyuz, cosmonauts Sergei, the 2 Sergeys I just mentioned. They're presumably on the ones who attempted the PRK leak fix today. Their work didn't last long, however. Roscosmos has paused Friday's structural repair. Roscosmos has paused Friday's structural repair efforts inside the service module tunnel known as PRK for more measurements and data to be assessed. Given this development, NASA has instructed the crew members inside the Dragon spacecraft to end the safe haven procedures and return to plant operations aboard International Space Station. So everybody's safe for now. They've had an ongoing leak, so it's not even really that much of a new issue. But hey, dangerous job. That's why they train you for it. They don't just send anybody up there. Then we'll do the second story after this one. Let's have, I forgot what we...
Non sequitur. Well, coming up, the news coming from this, of course, is that I don't even know when we talked about this, but they are planning on, closing down the International Space Station. Similar to a nuclear power plant, it takes a long time to close it down. Right? You don't just abandon it and go, bye. It's like, no, we have decades worth of stuff going on in there, and we need a clean house. So,
turn out the lights. The party's over.
Yeah, sadly. I don't know if they have a plan on building a new one, or maybe they're planning for the moon base. They're like, fuck the International Space Station, we're going to the moon base. So maybe that's their plan. They're closing this now so they can moon base later. I don't know.
That's right. Let's call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow starts the same old thing again. All right, next story. I'm doing a Willie Nelson song today. Billionaire Mark Cuban asks why insurance companies pay $2,500 for an MRI when a center down the street only charges $350. It's from Jennifer Mancini from
because you're rich.
Barchart.com. Insurance companies because insurance companies want to make money. Yep. That's basically all they exist for. They don't there to help you at all. They're there to feed their stockholders. Mark Cuban thinks American health care system can somewhat turn the exact same MRI machine into a luxury item depending on which building a patient walks into. The billionaire entrepreneur raised that question mark. This is older. This is an older post on social media. After responding to physicians arguing insurers are often blamed unfairly for rising healthcare costs.
Okay.
Drug spend, including hospitals, only 14% of total healthcare costs, the physician wrote. Blaming insurance is convenient, but insurance doesn't set prices. They pay the bills providers submit. HC costs, healthcare costs are high because provider charges are high and rising fast. If you want to control costs, focus on providers, not insurance.
That sounds bullshit. I swear there's insurance companies that do set prices.
Well, good thing you got Mark Cuban on your side to push back, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Mark Cuban pushed back the question that quickly became the center of this discussion. Explain to me why the insurance company will pay $2,500 for an MRI when there is a center on the street that will do it for $350. The exchange highlighted one of the most frustrating realities of American healthcare pricing. 2. Patients can receive nearly identical MRI scans using similar equipment, yet one might pay a few $100s at an outpatient imaging center while another receives a bill for $700,000 to the hospital network. Why hospital MRI prices can look completely detached from reality. Healthcare workers, patients, and industry insiders responding to a thread pointed to several reasons hospital imaging prices can climb dramatically higher than independent imaging centers. One major factor involves charge master pricing, the sprawling sprawling's not a good word for any of this stuff. Internal pricing systems hospitals use to assign costs, procedures, and services. In other words, their little scam. That's what it is. It's their little scam, and it has nothing to do with anything in this real world. It's just say, hey, how can we scam people out of their money and little items across their bill? And they go, oh, insurance is paying for that. I don't have to worry about it. You know, bullshit. Everybody's paying for it. One major factor involves, let's do this again. Critics argue those prices all have little connection to the actual cost of performing an MRI scan. You know, the technician isn't getting all that money. Who's getting it? Who's getting all that money? It goes to profits, and it goes in some CEO's pocket. That's where it goes. Hospitals also frequently add facility fees tied to operating expenses, staffing, equipment maintenance, and administrative overhead. Everybody's pointing fingers at everybody else. We all add a little thing onto our little Christmas tree of charges, and it turns to a Christmas tree. I looked at your chart 7 years ago. I get to put my thing on that. Yeah, anywho, other commenters focused on negotiating leverage. Large hospital systems hold over insurance. Insurance companies often need dominant regional hospitals networks included in their plans to maintain employee coverage and avoid leaving patients without access to major healthcare providers. Yeah, bullshit. Some healthcare professionals, actually, healthcare system does not provide healthcare. It just provides income for the insurance company. It doesn't actually provide healthcare. It rations healthcare. That's not the same thing. It's nothing you actually need. It's what they're willing to give you. That's it. So you're rationing some healthcare that doesn't help you, and you pay through the nose for it. And when you need to be the emergency care, it ain't there. Or you need the actual MRI, they won't even schedule it because your insurance won't cover it for that thing that you're doing.
Yep.
It's all a scam, and it's all designed for a bunch of rich people to make money, and it's not there to deliver healthcare at all. Anyway, real-world examples flooded the replies. Patient described MRI bills ranging from $2,400 to more than $9,000 through insurance, while finding cash price imaging centers offering similar scans between $275 and $700. So what am I going to do for an MRI? I'm going to take my doctor's reference that he's not going to give me, go through a whole bunch of what they want me to do. That's my personal experience. They want to not schedule an MRI for my back. They want me to go through 6 weeks of therapy. So it's better for me to find one of these imaging centers and just pay them flat cash, get an MRI, get it over with. Don't count on the medical profession to ever help me because they just got excuses not to help me. Mark Cuban, remember him? Followed up with a discussion by arguing insurance are not simply passive participants in rising healthcare costs because they still agree to reimburse inflated pricing structure. You don't have to pay that. You know what? Hospital, it really shouldn't cost you that much. No, they don't care. They care about their stock price. He later wrote that insurers and hospitals are not required to operate that way, but continue doing so because the system allows prices to keep rising. We're making money. What's the problem? The broader argument fits squarely into Cuba's long-running criticism of the healthcare industry and its push for transparent pricing through cost-plus drugs. Cuban has also described healthcare as a game who can rip off who. That's what it is. Healthcare is a game of who can rip off who, while criticizing consolidation of hospitals and insurers. Critics of consolidation argue large healthcare systems gain pricing power and acquire physician groups, especially practice and imaging centers. As a matter of fact, if you get referenced anywhere by any doctor or anybody, they probably work for CVS, and CVS owns the place you reference them to, and CVS owns the insurance company. So it's one big happy little, everybody just recycling money to each other and taking your money and calling it profits, and that's all it is, and it's just a scam, and it's a disgusting mess, and it has been, and it's not getting worse. And Mark Cuban probably should run for office. Maybe he thinks he has too many skeletons or something. I don't know, but once in a while you get a billionaire with some brains. You want him to do something, right? Not just sit around and talk about it.
Use all that money that he can for influence or something.
He appears to have a conscience, right?
Yes.
He appears to have a conscience. When his basketball team was accused of sexual harassment, he did something about it. You know what I mean? not that it should have been there in the first place, but a lot of organizations are like, well, sexual harassment. Well, they're girls. They're girls. What do you think? They're girls. That's what they're here for. What do you think? That's what they billionaire thing.
Fucked up shit to say.
As witnessed by the Epstein files, the billionaires don't give a shit about you at all. They don't care, and they don't have to follow the law. So anyway, there's your fun little why we pay so much for healthcare. Now, one billionaire's on our side.
Yep. Yeah. And of course, the crazy thing about insurance, right, is that it's a guaranteed income flow, right? You set the premium, whatever, and then you're always going to get that money every month, as long as your customers can support it. So I don't understand why they have to layer on getting more money after that. You already have like a guaranteed subscription basically from people every year that you're going to get paid, and somehow the insurance companies are like, how can we squeeze even more money out of people? It's like, you don't need to do that. You're already getting, I don't know, $1,000 a month from people in a whole place. Like, why do you need more money? I don't understand why they need more money when they have a guaranteed income.
And their default setting is to deny you coverage, right? Yep. Because if they deny you coverage, they can keep that money longer, and that's the only reason they do it. They don't do it based on anything else. If we deny them coverage, maybe they won't come back at us. And if you come back at them and they try it again, maybe they'll give it to you. But they'll probably deny you a second time, just so they can hold on to that money longer and keep it in their bank account.
And by the way, this is exactly why national health services are better, because then the government has to deal with this bullshit. And they say, no, we're not doing that. And then they're the government, so they can actually pull the power to be like, no, we're not doing that, insurance company. And then go, oh, all right. Here's your, and even better, right? A lot of like kind of semi-private, not private situations, right? The government will be paying the insurance companies anyway, so they're going to be crunching the numbers, right?
And don't forget, a large majority of Americans get healthcare from the government already, and it's just the people that got to buy private insurance are the ones that are being screwed.
Yeah, because they have to put a limit on it. If the U.S. were to actually allow public health care everywhere without a limit, because right now there's a limit, right? You can't get Medicaid or Medicare if you have a certain amount of money in your bank account or you make a certain amount of money.
No, you get Medicare. Medicare, you're going to be 65, but there is probably some kind of
bullshit reason why you have to go private.
Income limit. Anyway.
But if you don't have an income limit and you're just everyone has it, then you don't have to worry about it. And if you want additional private, you can, which is how a lot of places in Europe work. I'm spinning the segue well, but a lot of places in Europe work that way, where they're like, yeah, you can get private if you want something specific. If you want to get certain coverage on something.
Yep. I'm just saying. Yep. All I got.
Fun is our next segue. For my next stories. My first story is coming from Switzerland. These stories are pretty short. Oh no, actually this one's longer. Never mind, I'm a liar. So Switzerland is planning on capping their population at 10 million. How are they going to do that? Hopefully John Revel and Marlene Beer on Reuters will explain to me how the hell they're doing that. Coming out of Zurich, Switzerland goes to the polls on June 14th to vote on whether to cap its population at 10 million people in a referendum. Some have likened to Swiss Brexit. I would liken it to ethnic cleansing, but okay, I don't know how you control your population like that. Alarming many businesses who fear an economic blow should the proposal succeed. What about the ethical reasons to limit a population? How about that? For me, that's the question. It's like, oh, we're going to lose money. It's like, isn't that kind of weird to be like, you're not allowed to have a population anymore? Supporters of the cap, championed by the right wing, that's another red flag, People's Party SVP, say the expanding population is testing local infrastructure and roads and public transport to its limits, as well as driving the rents and crime. We were in Switzerland, but in 23, there was like nobody around. For me, a population limit would be like, oh God, you can't walk down the street because there's too many people. That's for me a population limit, not not some bullshit reason to ethnically cleanse your country. Companies and employers, however, where a yes vote would limit Switzerland's access to skilled labor and damage relations with the European Union, its biggest export market. Reminder, Switzerland is landlocked in the EU, but not part of the EU. They're called a Schengen zone, which is just an economic zone where they're allowed to trade and stuff. But I'm assuming, reminder that they didn't go against Nazi, but they also didn't side with them. They're also a neutral country who made a lot of money off of Jewish gold.
Very expensive to live there too. Don't forget that.
Exactly. Yeah. So
they're already making it hard to live there.
I don't think Switzerland is innocent from the the Nazi party, so to say. I would not call them an innocent party in that. As a Swiss citizen, it concerns me very much for the future of our country and its prosperity, said Martin von Moos, CEO of luxury hotels Belvoir in Bruschlikon and Sedaris in Thalwil near Zurich. If we lost all of our foreign staff, the hotel simply wouldn't function, he said, noting nearly half of the 115 staff came from outside Switzerland. It's very expensive to, like you said, it's very expensive to live in Switzerland, and this isn't just like those gross brown immigrants, from those lesser countries, but even Europeans themselves, right? They work in Zurich or Switzerland. Yeah.
It's the Armenians. Oh no.
Yeah. Even the good Europeans work there. They don't live there, they work there, right? Yeah. I said that with air quotes for anybody who's only listening. Good Europeans. Nobody lives in Switzerland unless you're already rich. We lose. We already said that. Blah, blah, blah. The issue has been finally balanced in recent studies, with most recent polls showing 47% in favor and 52% against population control. The Swiss population has grown to 9.1 million by the end of 2025, from 7.3 million when free movement of people between Switzerland and the European Union was introduced in 2002. Foreigners now make up nearly 28% of the population. Oh God! Foreigners, by the way, foreigners as a legal term just means people who don't live in the country. So they could still be Swiss people. They're just like, I can't live here anymore. I'm going to go move to Germany, and then I'll just take a train or I'll fly to Zurich and work in Zurich. Like, I think actually the population of Zurich is a majority of foreigners. Switzerland is a small country with limited territory. It has experienced the highest population growth in recent years, says SVP lawmaker Yvonne Paoud. It told Reuters. The vote is the latest example of the right-wing parties tapping into anxiety over immigration, housing, and public services, seen in Britain's 2016 vote to quit the EU and the rising popularity of parties such as France's National Rally and AfD in Germany. Business critics point to the damage they say the population could inflict in one of Europe's most resilient economies. Molecular Partners, MOLN.S, a Zurich-based tech company, more than half of whom, roughly 120 staff, are non-Swiss, said it was already tough to get people it needed. But you want me to get people from my country? I can't get people from the globe. I think if we said we could only hire out of Swiss talent pool, or if we could only collaborate with Swiss companies, it would be basically a showstopper, said Danielle Steiner, Senior Vice President Targeted Radiotherapeutics at the company. We may be forced to move things out of Switzerland, and that will really cause you an economic turmoil when you have no companies or anything. All the hotels shut down, all the cafes shut down, all the businesses moved out. Oh great, now what do we have? Rudolf Minsk, chief economist of Business Associate Economie, said the cap was a populist attempt to fix complex problems with a simplistic artificial limit. Just like Brexit was that. That's exactly what Brexit was. Oh, there are problems because of the EU. Let's just leave. Oh wait, our problems are still here because it was us the whole time. It sells the illusion of a free lunch and will not solve our housing or traffic problems, Minsk said. While many European countries, Switzerland, facing an aging population, population and no immigrants. Good luck with that, buddy.
That'll take care of your population right there. Aging population.
By 2055, the proportion... Exactly. Swiss population age between 20 and 64 will decline from 60 to 56, according to Swiss Statistic Office. Meanwhile, the proportion people aged 65 will climb to 27% from 21% currently. Opponents of the cap argue many newcomers have been entrepreneurs who developed the Swiss economy, citing well-known companies such as Nestle, Swatch, and ABB that were set up either wholly or partially by foreigners, and also are on the global market. So, according to a 2023 study by Avenir Suisse, 39% of companies' founders in Switzerland were foreigners. Referendums are cornerstones of Swiss politics, with voters headed to the polls 4 times a year to decide on various national and regional issues. Under the latest proposal, if Switzerland's population exceeds 9.5 million, a milestone that is forecast for 2031, the government would be required to take measures to prevent it reaching 10 million, which it forecasts to hit in 2042. At 10 million, Bern would be required to terminate international accords that encourage population growth. That includes the agreement with the EU allowing free movement of people, a condition of the complex web of Swiss accords with Brussels that give the country access to the European single market. Claude Maurer, chief economist at BAK Economics, a research institute, said if Bern abandons its bilateral accords, Swiss economic growth between 2028 and 2045 would be 7% lower, equivalent to a loss of 685 billion Swiss francs, which is about $867 billion. That's how much money they would lose in their economy if they're just like, no more population, please. Growth would slow, while inflation driven by high wage increases could trigger higher interest rates, Maurer said. Thomas Mather, another SVP lawmaker and banker, the people who want to cap the population, as a reminder, dismissed the concerns as scaremongering. Just like you're scaremongering that if you reach 10 million people, the world will end. Yeah, you're both doing it then. Only 1 out of 10 immigrants were workers with sought-after skills, and the rate of GDP growth per head had declined since the increase in immigration, Mather said. We are not against immigration. It has been a moderating control, so we bring it to the right people, he said. Before we had qualitative immigration, now we have quantitative immigration. Switzerland is still the same size as it was in 1848, and more people are living in the same space. Swiss corporate giants Roche, Nestle, ABB, UBS, and Novartis have all criticized the cap. Yeah, because they love paying immigrants less money. We reject the initiative, Roche said, adding that a yes vote would threaten agreements with the EU and exacerbate shortage of skilled workers. Companies depend on access to qualified workers, especially from the EU. Ottilia von Moos, who is also head of a Swiss hotel association, said some hotels could be forced out of business. Prices would rise and it would be harder to find for non-European visitors to come to Switzerland. We call this initiative a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's a simple message, but it hides serious consequences. There's your story on people following the economics of the situation, but not the actual social, cultural reasons why this would not work.
Yeah.
I did say it was a long one.
Right. The British cleared lands. They just told everybody to leave. Right?
Actually made a fake house shortage in Scotland and said, sorry, nowhere to live. I guess you have to go somewhere else. But it wasn't real. They just weren't selling houses, Scottish people.
More land for sheep. My solution is part of my bad pun is they should just have a yodeling contest, because only a true Swiss citizen can yodel. Everybody knows that. And that's the fact, right? Isn't that a fact? I'm pretty sure it is.
Maybe.
and if you can't yodel, you gotta go, you gotta leave. And of course, they want to order. Here's my pun. They want an orderly yodeling contest, and they want everybody to wait in line for the yodel, their yodeling turn, and in line they want to form a orderly queue. I can't yodel, but there you go. That's my orderly queue. I don't know. That was a bad pun. AI came up with.
That was a bad pun.
I will blame AI for that one. It's all their fault. They need to be discontinued. Canceling my subscription or AI.
All right, this is a really, really short one. This is more like an update coming out of the UK. Okay. Yeah, it's very, very short. So right now, live as we're talking, Starmer is actually having a press conference about tech companies clamping down to protect children. Their social media ban, which is something that Australia has already done. So the UK is thinking, hey, maybe we should follow one of our Commonwealth countries and do the same. This is from Athena Stavro, political reporter, and Holly Evans and Holly Bancroft on The Independent. Sir Keir Starmer has told tech companies they must introduce device controls to prevent children sending or receiving explicit images, or the government will legislate to force the change. The Prime Minister said that the pace of change cannot be excused for harm, and he rejected the idea as parents must accept dangers of modern technology. The new rules are designed to make it impossible for children to take, share, or view nude images, with the government issuing a 3-month deadline. In a speech at London Tech Week, he said, "One issue is the ability for children with phones to send and receive nude images. For too long, people have been told that is simply the price of modern tech, that nothing can be done, that the government is powerless, and that parents just have to accept it. I reject that completely, because tech should adapt to the needs of society and not the other way around." I don't know who's saying that. I think people who are saying that are like, take your kids' phones away. I don't know. Don't give your kid a phone if you're worried about this. Former safeguarding minister, that's the solution, by the way. Oh, we can't stop it. Don't give them a phone. Oh, but what if they borrow their friend's phone? I don't know. Talk to the parents, because everyone here is an adult.
What if they borrow their friend's heroin syringe? I don't know what the hell your answer is to that. Yeah, I mean, just you can't protect things. Put them in bubble wrap. Put them in bubble wrap.
Yeah, exactly. Just don't let them leave the house. Former safeguarding minister Jess Phillips resigned from Sir Keir's government last month after she claimed he refused to introduce new law because he was worried about tech bosses. She said in a letter that she presented a solution to introduce the measure a year ago and had taken her a year to convince Sir Keir to threaten to legislate. So there's the drama, I guess, right? He's finally been pushed to do something about it. He's worried that Google and Apple will cry wolf and, our profits because children can't send each other nude images. I don't know.
It's more Twitter.
We have to regulate. Yeah, why do we have to regulate our platforms? Why can't we just do whatever we want? Guess what? The world of the wild, wild, wet internet has been dead for at least 10 years. Get over it. Okay? Get over it. You're not anonymous on the internet anymore. People will find your IP address and who you are. You find your Facebook or whatever the fuck. Okay? It's not a thing anymore. You can't just do whatever you want on the internet. And I've always felt that way for a while. That's my very short story. I don't know if you came up with a pun in such a short time.
All that Twitters is not gold. How does that sound?
Aww.
There you go. There's a lady, sure, all that Twitters is gold.
Okay, and for our next segue.
And she's sending those pics on Twitter. I don't know what that is.
Of course, everyone knows well, I don't know if this is scientific. It is a hypothetical.
It's hypothetical.
Hypothetical for your story.
Okay. I guess it's close enough. All right, let's do one story. Just one story. Where is it? I hope I didn't close it. I did close it. Why it's so much open? So I closed my story. Do you remember what it was about?
No. I barely remember what my story is about after I read them.
Okay, close the story. Let's do this again. All right, go history. I've been looking stuff up. Haters or not. I apologize. Protests in Albania. That's where we go. We're going to one story. There's a second section, so it'll be quick. Protests in Albania grow over Jared Kushner. Remember that slimy operator and his slimy father? Jared Kushner-backed luxury resort. Helena Smith of TheGuardian.com has this story. Protests in Albania over proposed luxury resort backed by Diaper Donnie's son-in-law Jared Kushner are set to intensify. Their opponents rejected an offer from the country's prime minister to discuss solutions. Thousands took to the streets in Tirana, Tirana, for a third straight day on Wednesday For some of them, brandishing inflatable flamingos in a nod to feared environmental damage amid mounting calls for the project to be blocked. Protesters have planned for the south of the country or groundwork for the $1.6 billion complex, again recently, in an area long seen as one of the Mediterranean's most environmentally sensitive. Oh, good, we're destroying the environment while we're making money for criminals and scumbags. From start to finish, there's been a total lack of transparency, said Alexander Tadsky, Executive Director of country's leading conservation group, Protection and Preservation of Natural Environment of Albania, or PPNEA. We have seen no public consultation or public documentation regarding permits, and so now what we're saying is if they remove the bulldozers, remove the fence, and restore the habitats to what they were, they can start talking. The Prime Minister, Ed Rama, who had defended the development, let's get rid of Ed Rama as fast as we can, Albania, as a milestone in the Balkan country's trajectory from a Stalinist state to a high-end holiday destination. Oh yeah, that's what we want.
Ooh,
a bunch of foreigners coming in and ruin our environment. That's what we want. We don't want a country. We just want a bunch of foreign people's money. Okay, morons. That's not going to help you, by the way. The rich people are going to keep it. They're going to keep the money. You're going to get scraps. And you're going to be happy with those scraps, because that's how capitalism works. Shut up and eat your scraps. Shut up and eat your scraps, worker. What are you thinking there? You got rights? All right, anyway, hopefully these people win and get rid of this awful leadership they have. But the Socialist Party leader also stuck to his guns, saying there's absolutely no chance the investment will stop as long as I am here. Time for you to go then, isn't it? Huh? See you later, Edi Rama. As Albania's oldest environmental group, the PPNEA raised the alarm when warnings emerged that the region of uniquely biodiversity and cultural heritage was at risk of being destroyed. Earlier this year, Ivanka Trump, the guy, whose daddy wants to date her, made a surprise visit to the country with a team of architects, turning the site marked for development by her husband's affinity partners. The resort is intended to cover an area that not only includes the uninhabited outcrop of Sazan, Albania's only island, but wetlands, coastal habitats, and the marine national park that surrounds it. The waters are among the last refuges of the Mediterranean monk seal, with the area also sheltering more than 200 bird species. All Trump family members should be in prison. They should all be in prison right now, breaking rocks, making little rocks out of big rocks. Doing their soulmates laundry on a rock, the same rock. Swaths of protected coastal landscape north of the village of Zernak between Lagoon of Nar, Tennessee, are also earmarked for the development. We've never seen anything like this in Albania's protected regions, said Tragedy. It's not just unprecedented. There has been a complete collapse of rule of law with no considerations for society, no environmental consideration, no contract permits, just bulldozers. Alarm! Well, it's time to blow up the bulldozers. This is why terrorism exists. Here's what you do. You blow shit up. This is why terrorism exists. It's called freedom fighters for some people, but we're just going to call it, blowing up, pouring concrete into bulldozers is not terrorism. It's protecting your country. Alarm, he said, has spiraled into public outrage when workmen began erecting a concrete-based barbed wire top fence around the site near the installed. I can't pronounce Vernick. Installed a private security firm to protect it, and heavy machinery started decimating ancient dunes and Mediterranean pine forest to clear way for access road. That when the locals got angry, people who land there, who work on the land there, suddenly couldn't get to it. It's gone beyond being an environmental issue. Now it's a citizen thing. It's much bigger. This week's Albania's Special Anti-Corruption Prosecution Body, SPAC, announced its launch an inquiry into controversial legislative changes adopted in 2024 regarding protected areas. Developers say they will progress responsibly. Our focus remains responsible stewardship for environmental health. Don't be dragging your feet, folks. You can't just go, oh, you know what, we'll have some meetings. Meanwhile, there goes the tree. There goes the swamp. Yeah, nothing you can do to bring it back once it's gone.
The water's polluted, and now everyone's drinking brown water.
All the animals that used to live there are dead.
It's gonna take 20 times longer to get them back, too. Basically.
In interview with The Guardian before the project was initially approved, Rama revealed that Kushner's interest in Albania dated back 4 years when Stinky was not close to being a president. It was not related to Trump. He's probably lying. Closed off. For almost 50 years under the iron rule of a regime that banned travel, Albania has become increasingly popular among visitors, lured by its natural beauty and affordability. For supporters, Rama's push to attract high-end investors is seen as a must. High-end investors for what? For what? What are they doing for anyone? Oh my lord. High-end investors. That's just bullshit. For supporters, Rama's push to attract high-end investors is seen as a must if the destination is to avoid the pitfalls of over-tourism. I don't even know what the hell that even means. But the opponents of the controversy also fed into growing discontent with the government. Anger is not so much directed against Kushner or Ivanka Trump, the government, and the way it has handled this. And again, they just pushed it through without consulting anybody. There's your story.
Yeah, it's really it's crazy that they I don't know who's I don't know who's letting this happen. Billionaires. They just go into a country and say, we're doing this with your land, get fucked.
Yeah, the sweetheart deal with the government. They just did it behind closed doors like they always do. What do you think?
Hey, don't you know my father-in-law's the president? You better let me do this or else we're gonna bomb you. I don't know. It sounds like blackmail or some shit. Like, I don't understand.
No, it's called bribery. Bribery. Oh, yeah, okay. Look, you're standing to gain a lot of money if you let us do this. Why would you blackmail somebody? You just bribe them. It's a lot of trouble to blackmail. It's really hard. It's really hard to blackmail.
Well, no, I guess it's not blackmail, but it's I don't know what it's called when you threaten to bomb somebody if they don't do anything. Yeah, coercion. It's coercion. Whether or not it's actual coercion, right? Coercion is a very silent. Well, this is my hypothetical, anyways, right? Okay. Coercion.
Right.
You better let me destroy your local swamp so that I can have some passion project for myself that only I care about, and then I'll abandon it in 5 years, and then it'll just be fucked up. But that's what billionaires tend to do. They're like, oh, I had an idea. Oh, the idea didn't really work out how I thought. I'm gonna abandon the land now, but I'm not gonna sell it, and then I'm just gonna keep it looking like shit for the next few decades.
There's only 3 ways to get people to do things that they don't want to do. One of them is just pay them, right? Bribe them, right? That costs a lot of money, but it's quick. The other way is to bully them, right? Bully them. Oh yeah, well, we're gonna bomb you if you don't do it, right? Okay, there you go. And the third way, of course, is to trick them, and that works pretty good. So it does work pretty good.
All of those together.
It's a little bit harder than just paying them, but it saves you money. That's my only story, man. You said you had to go somewhere, so.
I was making sure you're done. You got your point across. Our next segue is something you've already done. So let's re-roll. Already did alliterations.
Oh.
Or you already did an alliteration. Come on, give me something different. Mixed metaphor for my culture news. The story is coming out of celebrity deaths. So, if you don't want to hear about dead celebrities, click away now, because sadly, Anthony Heed is dead at 72. This is by David Morequant on Your News Culture. Best known for his role as Gil on the cult TV show Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Anthony Heed died at the age of 72. And I apologize for pronouncing all these names wrong, because I actually don't know. Over the weekend, his co-stars and his friends paid heartfelt tributes to performer who will be sorely missed, Anthony Heed, the celebrated British actor best known for his cult TV show The Vampire Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and Ted Lasso died at the age of 72, his family revealed on the 5th of June. Heed's daughters, actors Emily and Daisy Heed, revealed that the actor died due to complications from pneumonia. Classic silent killer. Emily and Daisy Heed wrote, "It is with heavy hearts that we announce the death of our extraordinary father. He passed away peacefully of complications due to pneumonia, surrounded by his family. It has been and forever will be an honor and privilege to be his daughters and to have witnessed firsthand the impact of both he and his work have had on so many," they added. Over the weekend, countless stars have paid tribute to Heed, whose career touched the lives of so many. From the will they won't they romantic couple in a series of British ads for Nescafe Gold Blend instant coffee in the 80s, to his standout role as Rupert Gills, the Watcher of Buffy on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, via roles in Little Britain, Doctor Who, Jonathan Creek, Bridgerton, and his recurring role in Apple TV shows Ted Lasso. Heed's smooth delivery, immeasurable charm, and scene-making charisma made him a fan favorite. Little Britain co-creator Matt Lucas paid tribute on social media, writing, "When we were casting Little Britain, we were looking for a Tony Heed type, because we never imagined for a moment the man himself would be interested, but he was! Lucky us. He was unfailingly brilliant, and always so kind and warm. My heart goes out to Daisy and Emily." Harlan Coben, the writer of the novel The Stranger, the Netflix adaptation of which Heed appeared in, described him as a charming, erudite, and funny and open, friendly, and so damn talented, saying he brought joy and warmth and sparkle and wonder to every room he entered. Heed's Ted Lasso co-star and writer on the show, actor Brett Goldstein, remembered Heed and as infinitely charming and kind and fun and a joy. He wrote, Anthony Heed was a brilliant actor who played the worst person in the world, which was an incredible skill because he was the best person. He will be sorely missed. Love to his family." Screenwriter and producer Russell T. Davies remembered Heed as an absolute delight and recalled their time working together on shows including Doctor Who and Merlin. Oh yeah, he was Arthur's father. What is not Arthur Pendragon, his Arthur. He was Arthur Pendragon on Merlin. I was like, where else have I seen him? The cast of Buffy also paid tribute to their co-star and friend. Sarah Michelle Gellar, who played Buffy, wrote on Instagram, "Tell Gills I figured it out and I'm okay. Well, I don't have it figured out and I'm not okay. But I know I'm the lucky one because I knew you. Thank you to Daisy and Emily, who not only shared their dad with me, but with the world." David Brands, who played Angel in the show, described him as a kind and generous soul, while James Marsters Spike said, "There's a hole in the world. Anthony Heed has passed on from us. He was unflaggingly kind and a steady presence, and on the set of Buffy, the best actor in the cast. He was the best of us. I was lucky to have known and learned from him. He left the world a better place for his presence. Thank you, Tony, for all you gave." Allison Hannigan, who played Willow, wrote this weekend, "This cut so deep I fear it can never heal. Oh, Tonal, I'm so grateful to have had you in my life. I want to say a million wonderful things about you, and yeah, I can't seem to find the words that would do you justice. I love you so much and will miss you forever. R.I.P. Prisma Carpenter, who played Cordelia, honored Heed with a touching post saying, "Tony brought to life a character who for so many was the father figure they needed, but didn't have at home. Fans far and wide are surely grieving, and for that I am deeply sorry." Emma Caulfield, who played Anya Jenkins, posted a photo of herself with Heed on Instagram, writing, "This was taken on the London Underground in 2011. I went to visit my friend Tony on the set of The Iron Lady. We had lunch, heated up at the record store, had dinner and drinks, and laughed until our sides hurt. It was a perfect day. There were many of these moments with this amazing human who I was lucky enough to call a friend for 27 years. He was kind and wise and a guide in troubled times. You were so loved." The Buffyverse experience lost earlier this year with Nicholas Brendan, who played Xander Harris during the show's entire run, died at the age of 54. Last year, Michelle Trachtenberg, who played Buffy's sister Dawn Summers, died at age 39. Anthony Heed lost his long-term partner, Sarah Fisher, an animal welfare campaigner last December at the age of 61. Oh, maybe somebody also died of heartbreak, huh? The pneumonia got him, but maybe he was also just very sad. Mental health is very important. R.P. Anthony Heed, 1954 to 2026. You will be missed. There is your story on our sad passing. One of the few days we can sadly talk about celebrity deaths or just deaths in general.
Ironically, the vampires just symbolized an unhealthy person. You know, like somebody got tuberculosis. Oh, they would compare them to vampires or whatever. But that's my metaphor. That's my metaphor, I guess.
You mixed the metaphor.
That's it.
I wasn't ready. There we go.
All right. That's it, man. Sorry, I went too fast. Fading there. All right.
Next segue for this day in history.
Yeah. This is June 8th in the year.
I rolled too fast. I have to roll again because it keeps on giving me the same stuff.
Yeah, I don't even see.
I already did that one. Okay. Spins the charm. Really need to fix the. I kind of wish it wasn't true randomness here.
Yeah, it would be
Whatever.
nice.
I'm just gonna tell a joke. It just rolled hypothetical twice. I'm just gonna tell a joke. Tell a joke is right next to it.
Roll the wheel up. Take it off the sheet. What did you get? Joke? Okay.
Tell a joke.
Oh,
take it away. This day in history.
Get on this. Okay, let's sort of rush through this here. June 8th, in the year 632, Muhammad, the founder of religion of Islam in the Muslim community, died in Medina. So I guess on this day. 1191, at the time of the Third Crusade, Richard I joined the Crusaders in Acre, having conquered Cyprus on his way there. Long time ago, 1191. 1504, Michelangelo's statue of David was believed to have been installed on the day of the cathedral in Florence. Commissioned in 1501, it is considered a prime statement of Renaissance ideal of perfect humanity. Oh, okay. 1867, Franz Josef was crowned king of Hungary. Happy coronation to him. 1916, biophysicist Francis Crick, the guy who discovered DNA strains, along with James Dewey Watson, Maurice Wilkins, received the 1962 Physiology or Medicine Prize. Anyway, it's his birthday. He was born in Northampton, England. The DNA guy. 1937, American Medical Association recognized birth control as organizations at the organization's National Assembly. It took until 1937 to understand that birth control was a thing. The participants approved the resolutions that call for AMA to investigate the various forms of contraception that could view that with the view to disseminating authoritative information and promote the teaching of proper methods of birth control in medical school. Of course, now it's just like, you can't do that! Because, of course, the United States has turned into a fascist, the Handmaid's Tale. 1949, British author George Orwell published his dystopian classic 1984, warning against the totalitarianism that had introduced such concepts as Big Brother and a thought police, and the most essential command was to ignore the evidence of your own eyes. The world we live in now. The Trump people live in it full time. The rest of us are looking at them going, oh, really? That's what you want to be? You want to be told what to do by rich people? Wow, look at you. You're an idiot. 1955, British computer science Tim Berners-Lee, who is generally credited with the inventor of World Wide Web, was born. Okay, give him credit, I guess. I don't know. 1966, the National Football League and the American Football League announced its merger, which became effective in 1970, sorry. And then both of them were called the National Football League. divided into the AFL and the AFC and the NFC. 1977, American producer and rapper Kanye West was born. He's a piece of shit.
Unfortunately.
2002, Kanye West, again, who gives a fuck about that guy? He's just an overrated hack. Overrated hack, that's all he is. It's all he's ever been. Just an overrated hack. 2002, Serena Williams defeated her sister. Wow. Defeated her sister to win her first French Open tennis title. That was 24 years ago. She's talking about making a comeback. Venus still hasn't retired, and she's older than Serena. 2009, the United Nations hosted its first World Oceans Day, which sought to celebrate oceans while also raising awareness of threats their marine ecosystems face. One of those threats, of course, Jared Kushner and the scummy Trump, who all should be in prison. 2018, 8 years ago, Anthony Bourdain killed himself at the age of 61. He helped popularize the foodie culture in the early 21st century through his books and television programs. Don't know why he killed himself. He probably was just a little crazy. Probably a lot crazy. Yeah. 1959, and who can blame him in this world, right? And 1959 is our featured event, the day the USPS redefined airmail. And this day, in 1959, the United States Postal Service sent mail by a guided missile. Just before noon, a Regulus 1 missile holding 2 small blue and red metal containers of mail was launched from the USS Barrow submarine. Delivery was a success. The mail reached Florida Naval Station in 22 minutes, but somewhat unsurprisingly, mail by missile never caught on. Really? Yeah, I guess not, huh? I'll have that for you. It still took 22 minutes. Frank, on a phone call. What the hell's wrong with the phone call? Featured biography is Frank Lloyd Wright, American architect, fancy building guy, born June 8, 1867, right up the road in Richland Center, Wisconsin. That's right, he's a cheesehead. And he died April 9, 1959 in Phoenix, Arizona. One of his famous houses is not too far from here. It really isn't.
Really has a famous house. That's good.
He has many famous houses. He's an architect.
No, I'm just saying, I don't know. Usually famous architects
he didn't live there. He built it. He didn't live there. He designed it. No. One of his famous houses, because it's a Frank Lloyd Wright house, right? It says Frank Lloyd Wright. It's like the person who lived there was famous. Nobody gives a shit.
He could have been rich.
Nobody gives a shit. No, who cares if he's rich? I don't care if he's the richest guy in the world. The house isn't famous because who lives there. It's famous because who built it. Anyway, it's his birthday today, born in 1857. Joan Rivers' birthday, American entertainer, died on the operating table getting plastic surgery. Born in 1933, so she'd be 93 today. It's Tim Berners-Lee. We did that British computer scientist who's, again, the British going to take credit wherever they can. His birthday, 1955. Juliana Margulies, American actress, born in 1966, so she's turning 60 today. And Gabby Giffords, American politician, assassination attempt victim, born in wife of Mark Kelly, the astronaut, born in 1970, so she's turning 56 today. We already did Kanye West. He's just human garbage. Our national days today is National Upsy Daisy Day, National Name Your Poison Day. I don't have any poison, thank you. And it's National Best Friends Day. Just those things today. Coming up this week, let's see if there's any weeks today. Well, if it is, I don't have it on my page. So that's everything. Your spins, your metaphors, everything else, mispronunciations. For the start of the week on Mucking Fonday, June 8th, 2026 on, what the heck, what are we before? Did that even mention any food? There's no food today. On before poison. Oh no.
No.
It's National Upsy Daisy Day, so there you go. I'm before your Upsy Daisy.
Some daisy wine. I don't know.
With Upsy Daisy with your best friend. So it's your best friend day. Just don't stay away from the don't do anything with poison. That's absurd.
Stay away from the poison. Yes.
It appears to be a thing
Wash your
about
hands.
drinking. Drinking is poison. Yeah. Alcohol is poison.
That's true.
So there you go. All right, that's everything for today. Let's have
don't drink yourself sick.
A joke.
Don't drink. Well, I feel like you already told the joke.
Oh, I did. Okay.
Yeah, don't drink your. But I mean, yeah, of course, the classic. Don't feel bad for Joan Rivers. You know, for her having a very ridiculous death, so to say, because she was has dark humor. So if she was alive, she'd be telling jokes about her own death.
Yeah.
So she would say something along the lines of, you know.
Well, she talked a lot. Right?
Of course, I can't do her voice, but her voice was a very iconic voice, and she'd be like, of course, I would go off and die on the operating table. Hey, these cheeks are the tough for, you know? Yeah.
Drop.
So here's to an icon, Joan Rivers, which has not been the same since.
Mm-hmm. Well, she definitely hasn't been the same since, right?
No, I mean, like, comedy hasn't been the same since she's left it, I would say.
Right.
Who replaced her? Nobody, right? Who took her spot? Yeah. I don't know. Nobody.
Her daughter Melissa was on her red carpet show, but she's not a comedian.
No.
Yeah. You gotta be funny.
Nobody took her. I'm not saying that she needs to be replaced, but nobody took that spot of, like, no apologies, female comedian, you know? Not really.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly just perverted female comedians who talk about their junk all the time.
Yep, that's about it. Right on, let's do it. Let's do something. I don't know. Let's go.
Let's do the something.
I gotta go back to sleep. Man. I'm tired.
All right, let me see what's on this. Any international days today? Where is it? There it is. I still have the pages open from last week. Oh, I don't. Here it is. I have to load 15 different tabs. Oh no, it's not. I've lost it. Maybe I did use it. Oh, international observances. Where'd you go?
Maybe just do it tomorrow.
It might not even be one. I don't know why it closed the tab.
Probably it.
You are guilty of this too. You just spoke about it. Actually, it's World Oceans Day.
No, I
spoke about this.
Right.
So it's you in observance. Reimagine beyond the world we know a new relationship with our ocean. Remember, 70% of the planet is the ocean. So imagine just not taking care of 70% of your planet. You're going to be fucking up a bunch of stuff. So it produces 50% of the planet's oxygen. 40 million people are employed by ocean-based industries. And 90% of the big fish populations have depleted. And 50% of the coral reefs have been destroyed. So let's reverse that, shall we? And stop putting plastic in the water. That's what you shall celebrate today. Tell people and scream at people about the ocean. This has been Allison here from the Netherlands, Roger from the East Coast, the Midwest of the US, as we tie off a Mucking Fonday. We'll be back tomorrow for Good Tues News Day, which will be telling you all the good news you need to know about, so you have hope in humanity again. If you're not already subscribed on Before Coffee Podcast, please do that, and follow us on Twitch with the same username, Before Coffee Podcast. Thank you to all our Patreon supporters under the Before Coffee tier. And here is our mic drop moment. Speaking of World Ocean Day,
Name,
you know what goes into oceans? Rivers.
Age 40.
It feeds
Occupation
straight in.
barrister. Telling officialdom
Barrister.
only 3 things will
Like
stop
a
him.
lawyer.
You know it's really bad when you're like,
I would love them to do.
Yeah.
The second is to jail me. The third is to kill me.
His SWAT team of extreme litter pickers.
You have the right to
needs
kill
a
me, I
ballot
guess.
just to get to their latest target here. Yet another unloved, stinking litter
that is
box
always a
in
problem
East
with
London.
bureaucracy when people go in and say,
Yes,
you're not
they're
allowed to do
trespassing.
that because we need to have a bunch of paper signed to say you're allowed to pick
Like
up
you
sticks.
said, arrest me or kill me. That's what he said.
Yeah.
So I've got together hundreds of local people spread.
I gotta use the bathroom, man.
Is that the same guy who was doing the swimming the entire time? That was a different
Oh,
guy.
that was from Red Hood.
They say they want so little from the
There was a guy who was walking every single
Really,
waterway in
all we want the
London.
authorities to do is give
This
us
is
permission
definitely
to do
not
this
the
work.
guy.
We can
Not
do
even.
But maybe he's
the
participating.
authorities can do for
He's
the
a
Cuban
barrister.
work with
He's a
us
full-time
to help
job as
restore
a
our river.
lawyer.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. I
We
understand.
go at it like a squadron of community-minded
Definitely not the same
locusts.
guy.
No talk, heads down, no
There's
nonsense.
2 environmentalists in England.
In a way, these
They need to get
How many
some
other guys?
symbolize where we've come
weed
to in this
whackers or
country,
something
that
in here.
people are so
No, they're picking up the
frustrated by what they
trash.
perceive as the inaction of the authorities. They're prepared to trespass, come down here over the weekend,
The weeds
and
just
start
spread it
cleaning
out.
up for free.
Imagine this is trespassing? Man, living in a city sucks. Hey, you can't stand there!
What does it mean for the river?
He don't care. He's a barrister.
No, he's traveling, Tommy.
To this,
This is the same camera he always
over
uses.
an hour. But where's Paul?
His
now?
internet's just
it's
better.
Follow him towards the river.
It's not the same
He
camera.
produces the
It
salt,
isn't? Oh.
as you do.
That one stays
Then
mounted.
it's invasive Himalayan
Oh, okay.
balsam like a man possessed.
He has better internet, is what I would argue, is why he looks better.
To reveal what he says is an illegal sewage outfall, spewing filth into the river.
Oh,
I
gross.
found this outfall last year.
Look at all the algae, that's not a good sign.
Poor abuse
This is
of the river
like a head start on
London's
Good Tuesday.
third longest. So
Like,
often
hey, there's good people out there that don't
But
care
he-
about being arrested.
Sewer,
Yeah,
place to chuck away
exactly.
a large knife.
What's that? What's that? What's
Oh,
that?
God, there's a knife right
Guns,
there.
Syringes and drug stashes.
You out there with a magnet, too. Big magnet.
Oh, yeah, there's people who get in trouble with that in the US, right? Yay, stop putting magnets! Pulling out trash with
No,
the
there's
ribbon.
people that do it regularly, and that's their thing.
Yeah, but I mean, people call the police on them, saying
Who
some
cares?
guy's throwing a
People who put-
magnet.
Fuck them. Call the police. I don't give a shit. Fuck you. You know, what are you gonna do? Arrest me? Okay, whatever.
Yes, this is what you need to do. Be a community. Look at that. There's a freaking American there in London. Cleaning the freaking.
She sounds British. I don't. She's not
Okay,
British.
she sounds slightly Americanized.
Poppins? Nah, she was British.
Happens all the
Look at
time.
that, and they can have people to volunteer. Yeah. Hey, we'd like to come. Well, here's our WhatsApp group. You can join our next outgoing trip.
Another stinking, silted up rubbish heap. And it is this that made Paul do something dramatic very close by.
Oh,
He went nuclear.
God.
Refused permission over the winter to clear a neighbouring stream of silt and litter. He phoned a friend.
Haha, he was
Enter
nuclear.
the digger.
The big guy. We're dredging
You
up
have
ourselves.
a. Yeah, we'll do it.
Onto other people's land without their permission, can we?
Maybe not everyone. I wouldn't have done this when I first came to the roading 10 years ago, because I might have obviously ended up doing something unintentionally wrong. But I and the river.
You've educated yourself about it, yeah.
Monitoring and evaluating the river for nearly a decade now, so we know what it needs and what needs to happen. And we've got a simple.
That
message
would
to the
be
environment.
taking all the trash out with a
Come and do your
digger.
job to look after these rivers, or we will do it for you.
Piles of rubbish have been cleared out, and now the stream flows.
I mean, back in the
freely
day, you didn't need to
through
ask
the
permission to do this shit. You
black
just
ice.
did it.
There are dragonflies. There are
Right.
bulrushes.
The government doesn't ask for your permission when they
The response
bomb
from the Environment
people.
Agency,
Yeah.
a letter threatening Paul
They also don't
with
ask permission when they build a road straight through your land and you can't use it
We
anymore.
welcome communities to
Right,
protest
like in
the
Albania.
environment,
Exactly.
carrying out works without the required
This is
permits
connected
not
to our,
acceptable.
our Albania
Ah,
story. Because we're
you
killing
need
the wetlands.
permits to do
up there.
that.
Cause unintended harm to flood risk, drainage, or the wider environment.
These volunteers would tell the Environment
Whatever.
Agency.
As an
this is what
environmentalist,
happens
power to
when
them.
nothing happens.
Just
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.